Yeah, not my best work. Not that I'm not proud of it, because I am slightly, my ego has boosted just a little bit by being able to say that I've been arrested and just like feeling like a bad bitch. At the same time, you shouldn't do what I did. Anyone could know. I got arrested in September of 2024. It's been a minute and I haven't seen anybody say it like publicly. Only people like around me in my real life know. I don't think I've seen anyone like talk about it or anything. And so I want to be the one to do it rather than somebody else, you know. I'm lucky and happy that I get to be the one to share with you guys what happened and why. Before we get into it, there are some things that I just like really need you to know. I still have a bit of anger about the situation. So I'm going to try to not be super angry during this because I just don't think that that's helpful. I've already aired a lot of my grievances out in my journal. I don't need to do that online. I'm not going to get really specific into what happened. I'm sharing this with you because I want you to know. I'm not sharing this with you because it's up to you to judge me. It's not up to you to judge me. Actually, I have been judged by a judge in a court of law. My sentence has been sentenced, and so I actually don't need to prove myself to anybody. That's not what this is about. I'm not trying to see, like, was I in the right or was I in the wrong? I got arrested, so clearly I was in the wrong. I'm gonna say this at the beginning so everyone knows and can't say that they didn't know and didn't watch that far. I'm not gonna bring up any specific names in this just because I'm scared of doing that. And I really, really hope that you guys won't go looking for them. I really hope that you guys won't go and harass their social medias or anything like that. Someone in this story is very important to me, and I really would like them to be safe, although I know that's not my responsibility, literally at all. That's literally not my responsibility, and that's the boundary. I just want to say, because I have the power to be able to say it, I don't want you guys bugging these people, okay? Especially her. That being said, I got arrested because I punched my best friend's boyfriend in the face, because in my opinion, he deserved it. Then I hung around in my car outside because I was so nervous of being like, I don't like cops. And I'm like, if I'm gonna get arrested, I'm gonna get arrested here, not at my home. And then when the cops came, I did not lie. I said, I punched him in the face. And they're like, you just confessed to the crime. We have to take you in now. So I have a lot of feelings about it. Obviously, it was a whole ordeal. I have never hit anybody ever, except when I was in grade 9 once. This girl did pay me $20 to punch her in the face, and so I did. But besides that, like, I've never hit my brother. I can't hurt a fly. I'm not an angry person, not a violent person. I'm the opposite of a violent person. I'm really good with my words. I'm really good with talking with people, and not in a manipulative way, in the opposite, actually. And when I was face to face with one of the most like manipulative people I've ever met, it made me realize that as a pacifist, right? As someone who's like, violence isn't the answer, violence doesn't do anything. Violence only becomes your answer if you are not the one who has the power to change the situation. You feel like violence is the only way that you have power in a powerless situation. I didn't see that the boundary that I should have made at the time should have been with my best friend, because that is incredibly difficult. And also, so I'm gonna say best friend, even though she blocked me on everything after this happened and has not spoken to me since, because they're still together doing great things together. And for the past few years, this guy has been abusive to her, and I have mentioned to her many times, like, things that I've seen, things that he said, and I'm like, dude, personally, between you and me, guys, I've never in my life met or seen someone who like deliberately harms his girlfriend on purpose and wants to. And I love my friend so much, but she doesn't see some of the stuff that he does. And everyone else does. And I've said to her, like, babe, he makes fun of you in front of your face. That's not okay. And she's like, no, it's good. Everything's fine. And it was literally like a few days before I punched him that we had a conversation where something came up and I was like, dude. And I don't like speaking when I'm not being heard. So I really held my tongue for a lot of things, because she was like, it's okay, it's okay. And I'm like, okay. But then I saw something and I was like, man, that's not okay. Like, you're in danger. And she's like, no, I'm not. And I'm like, okay. And then like 2 days later, this happens. I'm not going to tell you exactly what happened because it's not your business. I know you're going to want to judge me to see if I did the right thing or not. Don't worry, I'll tell you what a judge me. I also don't want to say and share, because if I were her, I'd be incredibly fucking embarrassed. I'm going to say this. I'm a little angry, to be honest, at the fact that she's still with him. Obviously, that anger is misplaced. And I just think, like, yeah, you're still with him after he did all of these things to you. I'd be incredibly embarrassed if people knew that. And so I kind of don't want to share all the things that he said and did to you, or to her, because it, like, because now she just looks so stupid, dude. You just look so stupid and bad. The things that he said to her are the things that you say to someone you hate. They're the things that you say to someone that you have kidnapped and locked in your basement and you want to torture them. Like, the things that he said to her were things that, like, the worst bully in grade 3 could look at you and find things about you and pick on you and ba 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 ba. To someone that he's been with for years, that supposedly they love each other, I'm like, he is purposely trying to break you down. This is the worst verbal abuse I've ever seen in my life. And if saying this puts her in danger, then this guy needs to go to jail. Then this guy needs to go to jail. When I was telling her this, she broke down to me and was like, he treats me very poorly. And she didn't say those words, but she was telling me, like, the way things actually are at home. And I'm like, dude, why haven't you been saying this? Why have you been sucking this up? But I know why, because I've been in that situation too. And I know how hard it is to leave an abusive person. Because when you're with, like, an abusive person, that's all you know is abuse. Like, the abusive partner that you're with is better than your parents. So it feels like it's love. It feels like it's better than love. And I love her so much. And I didn't see, it was really hard to say, hey, I love you so much and I cannot be around this guy. So if you choose to be around this guy, I can't be around you for the time being. That was not something that I realized at the time. Nothing I say is an excuse, okay? I just wanted to explain. I mean, if you're watching this, if this isn't your first time watching me, then I'm sure you kind of know a little bit about my character. But if you don't, I'm a good talker. I like to chat. I like to have a conversation about things. So I just wanted to chat with him. I just wanted to say what I wanted to say to him was, I know about what you said to her, what you say to her, how you treat her. And I said to him, she might be dumb and you might be able to pull the wool over her eyes but not over mine, buddy. And you also can't manipulate me. And so I need to hear an apology to her right now. And I need you to know that this behavior cannot happen around me. And immediately he just went to Darvo. And just, well, actually, how about you? And let's talk about you and all the shit things that you did. Aren't you ashamed? You're a bad person. And I'm just like, no, man, we need to take 7 steps backward. And that didn't change. He just was that guy. And I hit him. And I shouldn't have, but I really wanted to. I almost want to say things that, like, when I hear them back, I'm like, you're trying to excuse yourself, or you're trying to be like, it's not as bad as it was. But also at the same time, I do feel like I'm not ashamed. I'm not guilty, really. Like, I don't feel like a bad person. I know that this is not going to happen ever again. Know that I shouldn't have, but I'm also glad that I did, because I'm really glad that someone did. I'm really glad someone punched that guy in the face, to be honest. As a country bumpkin, people get hit in the face all the time in these woods, in these parts. If I hit someone from here in the face, they would not have called the police, especially if it was a dude who is dating my best friend. He would have had lots of men around him that know about this and would have said, you need to sit down and think about this. How you provoked Paige Layle to punch you, because that's wild. See, now here I am trying to, like, excuse myself, but, like, I also do want to, I've never hit anybody. It is quite wild of me to hit someone. To punch a person, incredibly wild. I said to him, you need to have this talk with me. I'm gonna hit you. And he's like, you're gonna hit me? You think you're gonna hit me? I'm like, yes. Yeah. And it made me upset and angry that he thought I wouldn't. Like, it was very clear that his words have gotten him through everything in life. And that made me angry that he thought that me, a foot smaller than him, wouldn't hit him. I'm like, I will. I'm not upset about that. You need some kind of punishment so badly. And it's not mine to dish out. It should have been mine to dish out. That's not the punishment. But it bothers me so much that in this world, there is so much violence and abuse and things that are unjust that will just always be unjust and will never be caught. It was wrong to punch the guy in the face. And I think that some stuff deserves to be brought to immediate legal attention. I knew when I punched the guy, I knew what was going to happen. I knew that he is a little city kid and he's going to cry and whine and call the police. My best friend, her whole family's there. They're all staring at me and, like, watching me yell at this guy for like 5 minutes. before I hit him. I knew what was going to happen, and I wasn't upset about it. I felt like, if I'm going to get arrested tonight, I am really glad that the police are going to know about this domestic violence situation that is going on with my best friend. If I get arrested tonight, I have faith that I will be okay. If I get arrested tonight, I didn't have a need. I didn't feel like I had the need to lie. I'm not a liar in general. And when the police came, I didn't have a lie in my head. I didn't think of a lie. I know in my head I was thinking like, don't say anything. Say you want a lawyer. Don't say anything. But I was like, at the same time, I feel like I should be fine. And I know how distorted that is, but what I was like, I really feel like I should be able to say, yeah, I hit him. He deserved it, in my opinion, and now I will leave him forever alone. The cop who showed up to arrest me was my ex-boyfriend's best friend. This is a guy who I've partied with hundreds of times, and I was like, no way, man. I cannot believe it's you. It was probably the best thing that could have happened, but also maybe the worst thing, actually, if you think about it, because if it was anyone else, I might have been able to lie better. But when I saw him, I was like, dude, you know whose house we're at? He knows my girlfriend. What, like, we've hung out together. I brought her tons of times. I'm like, we're at her house. He's like, oh. And I'm like, I punched him in the face. And he's like, why'd you do that? And I was like, because he's a piece of shit and he deserved it. That's what I said to the police. Because I was like, I couldn't lie. To me, I'm like, that was righteous. Like, at the time, I was like, what I did was deserved. What I did was needed, and he's lucky that it was just me. If he's in my life, this isn't going to happen. He didn't choose to be in my life, though. So that's not where the boundary was. The boundary is with my best friend. And so even though she hasn't messaged me, responded, like, even though she blocked me and then, like, went to his house afterwards and they're together and they're just so in love and it's 20 times worse probably, but that's not my fault or problem, because if he wasn't an abusive guy, it wouldn't be worse. Being like, whoa, your friend? Nuts. Your friend just hit me for no reason. That was kind of nuts. Your friend's a little nuts. But unfortunately, I'm not nuts. And so it probably is worse for her. There's no friend of mine that deserves the world more. My best friend is the sweetest human being on the planet. She has never hurt anybody. She is incredibly kind and caring and nurturing, and that is exactly why he exploits her. She is so nurturing and loving and sweet. She's just a sweet little baby angel head, and she's got this horrible serpent of a boyfriend who just spits venom, and she sucks it out and swallows it. And I calculated the risks, and I thought, if I'm going to go to jail for anybody, it's going to be you. I wanted her to see and know how serious this is, how dangerous this guy is. Like, I'm very willing to go to jail to open your eyes. I'm very willing to go to jail so you know how much I hate this guy. So you know how serious I am about this awful, bad relationship. Not in like a... That kind of sounds manipulative when I say it out loud, because it is. Because you're not supposed to hit anybody. But even though my case and stuff is solved, the problem isn't. I've resolved a lot myself internally about like my actions and what I've done. It still upsets me that to this day, they're together and she doesn't talk to me. If she were to talk to me, the only thing that I would say to her is, I love you and I can't be your friend as long as you choose this guy, but I would love to be your friend when you're done one day. And if you ever, I'll always be here for you when you're not with him. I feel like this is a few-parter. There's like the first part, the punch, the thing that happened. Then there's like the whole like being in jail, handcuffed, jail cell, mugshot, fingerprints. Like, I had a bun in my hair. They were like fingering my bun really hard, making sure I got no knives or anything up in there. And then there's been like the court system and all of the court dates and what the ending of all of it has been. I do not endorse violence. You should never hit anybody. So excited that I've hit somebody for my first time. But don't hit anybody. If you're ever going to do that, do it when you're a child and you're not going to get arrested. Don't do it. My best friend, if you see this, I love you forever. And you're a stupid idiot. If he ever sees this, fuck you. To wrap it all up in a little bow. I think that one of the reasons why he called the cops is because I think that he thinks, because this is how narcissists are, right? And usually they all follow the same kind of pattern. Care a lot about their image and their self-image and their reputation. Their social status amongst people is one of the most like important things to maintain, right? Your reputation. And this, getting arrested for hitting somebody, looks bad on your reputation. So I bet that he thought, get wrecked. I'm gonna get Paige Layle arrested. And now Paige Layle is gonna be arrested. And like that's what I thought, like how he was sounding and how it was all going. It really was like a ha, got you kind of moment. And that just made me like, I'm like, that's so silly for you. That's so silly that you think that. Because I think this looks way worse for you, dude. No one had to know about this. But if you want me to get arrested, I want people to know why I got arrested. I think he thinks that I'm going to be too ashamed about it to talk about it. I'm going to do a little self-censorship because I'm too ashamed. Because that's what narcissists want you to do, and that's what they think you're going to do. I'm not ashamed. And that's why I will always win every time against a narcissist who wants me to shut up. I'm not embarrassed. I'm not ashamed. I'll say it out loud. I had people that were trying to like threaten me in my real life from my last video. They were like, oh yeah, well, you got arrested. And I'm like, yes, I'm gonna make a whole video about it. I'm not, like, that's not something that you can hold over my head. There's nothing that anyone can hold over my head. Because I haven't done anything bad. If I do a bad thing, you can hold that over my head. And I'm sure I've done bad things, but like, not even, I'm not that bad. I don't do that many bad things. I punched a guy in the face, and it was only half bad, you know? It wasn't like out of nowhere. I punched him because he deserved it. Even though you shouldn't punch people. And does anyone really deserve to get punched in the face? Yes. And what a stupid idiot to think that I wasn't going to tell anybody about it. Now, people, like, I'm not saying his name out here, but I could. It's in the court documents. I'm sure you could probably friggin' look it up. Like, I don't know. People are going to know that he's a shit bitch to his girlfriend. I hope everywhere for the rest of his life, if people see them together, people are going to find out. Y'all are going to find out. And everyone who sees him now that have seen this video or knows will know that he's a piece of shit. Will know that he's an awful boyfriend. And that I, someone who's never hit anybody ever in the world, punched him in the face because I thought he needed it so badly. Does this make my reputation look bad? Does this make me look bad? Maybe. Maybe to children. I don't know. Maybe if people see this, listen, I think the only people that are going to be like really, really upset at this and like, no, we're not going to do anything with you anymore, Paige. I don't do brand deals anymore either, anyway, because I don't like it. I feel like the people that will get mad are going to be like the people who are like kind of narcissistic that really care about like image and reputation and stuff like that. And that's something that I care less about. Like, I've lost a friend over this because my friend was like, I can't believe you did that. I can't believe that you're stupid enough to risk your life like that. And I was like, see, I understand that for you, but for me, because she was like, you're risking like your job, like you risk like working with kids forever. And I'm like, I understand that, and that's truth, and that's something that maybe like you value a lot and are thinking about. To me, I would much rather hold true to my values and who I am and like as a person and my integrity and standing up for my friends than censoring myself and trying to be a different person in real life so that people like me, so that I get a job. Was it stupid? Sure, but it also wasn't to me. And my friend said, you were incredibly lucky. And I'm like, I don't think there was, luck had nothing to do with it, dude. I was a very mild case in the court system. Yeah, it's a little bad. It's a little bad, and you shouldn't do it. But everything's fine. We all know what Paige stands for. I know people will try to make me feel embarrassed or be like, that's so bad and you're so stupid and stuff like, you're right. You're right. Yes, I care about my relationships more than anything else in the world, I think. I will always jeopardize and sacrifice money for love. I will always throw away my career, money in the trash to protect my friends and the people I love. That's something that's just what I value to me. And maybe that's stupid, but maybe I think you're stupid. I'm not gonna have a criminal record. I'm not gonna have anything on my vulnerable sector check. It's literally gonna be like nothing ever happened. But I don't want this to be a secret. I want y'all to know, and I want you to hear it from the horse's mouth. Is that how you say that one? If you have any questions, I mean, like ask them. Let me know. Maybe I'll answer some, because like it was a pretty cool experience. There were some things that happened. I can't believe I got fully arrested. If you're ever in a similar situation, don't hit people. You got to have boundaries and go, you know what, this is not bringing peace in my life. and I do not have the power to change it. And so I do have the power of only walking away and getting it out of my life by getting out of their life. Don't hit people. Don't do it. Don't hit anybody. And if you do, make sure it's for a good reason. So if you have to go to jail and do all this stuff, at least it's for something that you're proud of. You know what? I think that I'm lying by saying that, like, I don't care too much about what people are going to say. I think that there still is, there's a pang in my heart from my past and stuff. Like, all of the narcissistic people in my past are probably screaming at me. Although I'm not listening to them, right? Because I don't talk to them. But they're probably screaming, like, no, keep that to yourself. We gotta bury that. We gotta hide that. We gotta hide that. And so I can feel like the judgment. I bet there will be brands who I don't want to work with anyway, who will be like, we might not want to work with Paige Layle because now she's been arrested before. That's wild. But I also am like, well, Justin Timberlake got arrested for a DUI. I mean, I'm not Justin Timberlake, but I also didn't have a DUI. So I'm like, people get arrested for stuff, and things are fine. But also, he's a boy. People care less when boys do things. So I'm like getting ready for the ridicule, I guess. I don't know what this is gonna be. I have no idea what people are gonna say about this. No idea. Most people might hate me, and that's, it is what it is. It is what it is. It is what it is. I did what I did, and I'm not gonna do it ever again. And now I can say, listen to my mistakes so that you don't make them. Take this as a precautionary tale of boundaries with your friends. Your friends might have awful boyfriends, and you can't make them break up with them. All you can do is stop being their friend, which sucks for everybody involved also. No one wins when there's an abusive partner. And that's also what we can take from the law as well. Alright, well, I think that's all I gotta say. That's all that I really have to say about anything. So I think that I'm gonna scoot now. Thank you so much for being here. And yeah, great. Please don't hate me too much. I guess you can. Like, I did punch a guy, but he's fine. I'm fine. She's probably not fine. That's why we're gonna leave her alone, because we wish her the best for the rest of her life. We wish her happiness and success and love. This is the end of the video song. This video is to tell you the video's done. If you're hearing this, it's because the video's done. Go watch another one. Boop boop. Have a good day. Love you so much. Bye.